We're trying.
All right, folks, we're back for another Sunday Night Rumbling here. We got three of us in the house tonight. I'm Steve Phillips with the Phillips Run Grit and Bubble Company. We got Copperhead Customs all the way from Australia, and he looking good down there. How are you, brother?
Good. How is everyone?
We're good so far. And then down here with us is Eastern Hot Rodder, John, and he's got a young man with him. It looks like he knows all about model cars. John, tell us what you got going on, man.
This is my buddy Keith. Keith is the model monster that I know. So we figured to have him on tonight. Go ahead, Keith. You do yourself a little introduction, I guess.
60 is pretty young.
Yeah, that ain't bad.
Hey, do I look short there?
Y'all look
Keith,
the same size.
Are we both in the frame?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm trying my phone. I didn't bring the laptop this time. I just did phone. It's but yes, I figured Keith would be a good addition to the show because he's got a pretty crazy mind. You guys have seen some of his rat rods. I had a video of the walk around we did on his model car collection and his crazy creation of a tea bucket. So Keith, he's been an award-winning model car builder for years. So hot rodders are into everything, not just car stuff. So it's anything that has to do with cars. So I figured that with the winter starting to come on up here in the northern hemisphere anyway, people start hibernating inside. So it's like, what are some of the things you can do on the inside that you can't do out in the garage when it gets too cold?
Yeah, that's the thing about it. But like that Steve Maggs, he's coming on. He's a huge model car guy. He loves model cars. And then
big time.
Yeah. And golly, I tried to get hold on, it's gonna hit me in a minute. Who is this singer that Blackberry Smoke? What is his name? Preston Holcomb. I don't know if y'all know him or not, but he's a percussionist for Blackberry Smoke. And I know him, and he is a huge model car guy. He loves model cars. I mean, he builds them all the time. Really? Yeah, he's a big guy. I didn't realize, as far as coming to model cars, he loves them. It's amazing how many people in it. I remember being a kid, though, you could go to any not convenience store, but any supermarket or whatever. They had model cars everywhere. Now you can't find them at all. Did y'all do much down there and with model cars in Australia?
Yeah, they used to be everywhere. Now they're real expensive now. So I think I said I bought that 32 pickup to match mine, and that was like $100. Yeah. Oh, that was secondhand. So yeah, because you can hardly get them, so they're real expensive.
Reckon what the deal is. Reckon what? Because we used to have a ball putting them together. They were so much fun. Of course, I don't know what kind of glue do you use anyway, man. We used to use that model car glue. Do what? He's sticking.
I use that good stuff.
Okay, the good stuff.
Good smelling stuff.
Stuff we used to use, after about a month or two, it'd start coming unglued, and then we'd start crashing them up and bending them up.
I use my testers. It's really good. It's non-toxic. It works really good.
I remember the stuff I used to use was in that orange tube, and I'd pull the cap off and hold it in my teeth and glue the model and stick it back in and miss the cap and burn my lip.
Yeah,
you get the glue on your lip, and
that's what we used.
Yeah, that's the same stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Probably got a tube in there. See, I got some tubes in my showcase. There's some old ones.
Yeah, it's I'll show you his case here. Let's see if we can move this.
All right, go slow because you're sticking.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right, let me know if you see it because I'm off camera now, so I can't see.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, these are all different models he's built. That some of them were in different competitions and stuff. The just a lot of neat detail and everything on them. He doesn't build anything box stock. He always does things, modifies it, makes them a little different.
They're pretty much all kit bashed, if you know what that term is. It's using different model kits to come out with a different outcome. There's a few stock ones.
We got Sean in here. Good. Hey, Sean, how are you, brother?
Doing good. Doing good. How are y'all?
Yeah, we're doing good. I don't know. You never think about these models being $100, but I know what Copperhead's talking about. Some of these, that you get. Of course, they make remans now that's supposed to be cheaper, but I don't know the daggum difference. But you're a model car guy. What is the holy grail? What is the model ones that people are like, this is the one to buy? This is it, man. That's what I want to know. Because I'm kind of deal with antiques.
Here's a kit from, I believe, 1964. I don't know if you can see it there.
Yeah, I got it.
But it's the Get Smart, and on the end of the box, the kit number, the last part of the 6 numbers, the 200 right there, 200. That was a $2 kit back in 1964.
Right.
That was by AMC. That's how they determine their price.
What's that worth now?
This one here is worth like $200.
Wow.
But and the thing about it is I put plastic on it to keep it in better shape because it had been owned, but they didn't put plastic on them back then. They just taped them. That's that. You can see that.
Yeah, no kidding.
And some kits, probably in the late 60s, they started shrink wrapping. But so this kit is complete, original, decals and all. And when you have that, it's still worth some money in the model world.
Well, now do you? Okay, that's thing, Preston. I said, do you build them or you keep them? Preston said he builds them. You build them or you keep? I mean, some of the high dollar ones you keep them.
I build and I collect, and throughout the years I've fine-tuned my collection, and I got a lot of TV kits and truck kits, van kits.
Let's see. We'll try to move slow. I'll go over.
One second, let me show them. This one is an original also. I believe it was 66. The Man from Uncle. That one was $1.70.
Right.
One's worth of like $200 also.
Wow.
It's what somebody will pay for it, really.
I'm going to bring you over here. This is call this Sean's Corner because it's all vans.
Hold still because you're stuck again. Oh, there you go. There you go, Sean. Look at that. All the vans, man.
That's pretty cool.
Go
Yeah,
closer.
man, he's got a little bit of everything. Get closer.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, there's all sorts of different stuff.
That's a cool one right there. Some of these are really hard to come by or pricey. Your van kits are mostly anywhere from $50 to $150 easy now anymore on these reissue. There's a few reissues, but the original kits are good value.
Hey, I can remember putting some of them together. I mean, I'm looking at some of the models that I can remember as a kid putting together, especially the Dodge stuff. You know, I'm a big crazy Mopar guy, but I remember doing that.
Yeah.
I've got a few models. I
Yeah,
got some old race cars, you know, from Richard Petty, but they're upstairs in the attic. I have no idea if they're worth anything or not, but to me they are.
Yeah, that's cool.
You do the
Okay, here's another one. We'll bring you around to this one.
All right, just go slow because you're like the Bionic Man, man. You're just tick, 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 tick.
Yeah, the Copperhead's all glitched out on me now. So that comes in.
Yeah,
So all Dukes Hazzard stuff, including the Daisy Dukes.
there you go. I don't understand why everybody's all excited about John Snyder when Daisy's so much better looking.
All right, I'm going to bring it back around. We'll see if we can keep it stable. All right, we still glitching, or are we getting cleared up a little bit?
No, you're still glitching a little bit. I don't know. Everybody else is kind of moving pretty slow, pretty good, but Sean's doing good. But I don't know how. Hey, it's been years. I bought a model car the other day. I was up at the antique store, and this gal, she come in with a 60. I sent you a picture of it. That 69. What was that? 69 Galaxy 500 cop car. I thought, well, that'd be cool to put together. And I think it was about
Oh, that's cool.
$15 or something. But it had a.
That's not a bad price.
No, I didn't think so.
Was it a repop or was it an original?
I have no idea. See if I can find a. Never see. Let's see if I can get. See if you can look at that without it being too glitchy. Can you tell anything about that? Can you tell? Kind of blurry, ain't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
It's just a black and white box, though. It ain't got anything on it. Just black and white.
Yeah,
Is there any dates on it?
No, I didn't even look. Hobby Heaven, it says 74 police car. AMT Earthel.
huh. What's the manufacturer?
AMT Earthel.
AMT white box, just black ink.
I don't know if you can
Yeah,
see it.
they made a lot of that. Blueprinter did, but yeah, AMT did. What are you talking about? The cop car?
That's it, but mine's in just a black and white box.
Yeah, right. They brought them out in a bunch of different versions. That's what they do with a lot of these kits is they reissue them with different box art,
Right.
and they just keep reissuing the same stuff. But a lot of the stuff doesn't even get reissued, so that's why the value is still there.
Sometimes they'll rename something, re-sticker it, and rebadge it, but use it as the same, just as a marketing tool, so they don't have to make another whole model. They'll just sticker it up different.
Now this is a kit that I built in, I believe it was 98.
Right.
But this box is like from 19, I believe, 70s, late 70s.
41 Plymouth, man. They probably didn't sell
Yeah.
so many of those.
And I built this this Superbird. And
Oh, I see.
this is one. Yeah, this is the one I won at the national contest in '99. And but I had to incorporate the Superbird from a kit, the Superbird model kit, along with an engine from another Cornet Super B kit.
Cross frame on it too.
Right, and I had to tub it out, and all. But I won a national contest, and I don't know if you guys know this guy. His name is Augie Hiscano. He was in a lot of model contests. He built his own parts out of metal.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he is very well known. He passed away a bunch of years ago, but he was one of the 3 judges, and he told me that the reason mine won was because I didn't spend a lot of money buying aftermarket metal parts.
Oh really?
That I
You made your
just
own?
kit bashed with other kits.
Yeah.
And the paint job.
So kit bashing is when you're using from other kits. Then.
Yeah, but how long did it take you to build that car?
That one probably, I'd say a month.
Oh wow! I did it pretty quick.
Yeah. And then here's another version of the same car, all rusted out.
That looks like something I could afford there. Yeah, it looks like what I got. That's my stuff there.
Yeah, but it's all rusted out and weathered, and got inside the seats there, the foam is coming out of the seats, and I had to open up the trunk and the floorboards, and
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it's really.
That Steve
And,
Mignante
the
does got a lot of models.
Yeah, he does. I was telling him about that before you come on. He does a lot on that model car building and stuff. And
Yeah.
what do you call it when you steal stuff out of other boxes?
What's that?
When you take stuff out of other boxes, what do y'all call that?
I still couldn't make it out. Broke up.
What when you use 2 or 3 boxes to make one car, what are y'all calling that?
That's kit bashing.
Called
Kit
kit
bashing.
bashing.
Yeah.
Like going to the junkyard, boys. Like going to the
I
junkyard.
figured bashing would be like most of us did when they were done. Yeah, they building and bashing.
That's what we
Hey,
do.
speaking of
Yeah. Like right here,
this
this
thing too.
yeah, this kid here, I don't like the
He stopped. I don't think he likes the 77 Mustang, but now that's right up Sean's alley. He likes him 77.
Oh yeah, the Ford that all the Ford guys hate. What makes the redheaded stepchild?
There you go.
Ford Mustangs.
The rare Ranger breed.
Yeah.
That is it. They were pretty cool back in the day. I guess what made them cool is that the Charlie's Angels had them. I don't understand why we can hear them and then they can't glitch. They've got some kind of an issue with their
Their
internet
Wi-Fi must be.
locked down. How long has it been since y'all actually built a model car? Have y'all built one in years?
I started to build one a couple of years ago, and I never did even get. I got the body painted, and that's as far as I got.
Yeah.
It's a 69 Camaro one, and I've got the body painted, and I put it in the box, and I like building the real thing now. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I haven't got time to do the little ones because I'm always building the big ones.
Yeah.
Well, I finally got me a car lift, man. I ain't never been so excited in all my life. We put us a car lift in. I've been saving and scrimping and saving, and I finally ordered one. I think they're all made in China, man. I tried my best to find them. And they like you can find them for $5,000, and I believe they're the same thing as what I bought for $3,000. I don't think it's any different.
Did you get one for $3,000?
It was I haggled with them, but I ended up getting it for $3,150 something bucks delivered to my down here at the boat marina.
Mhm.
Then we put it up, and I was worried about my concrete. It called for 4.5 inch concrete, but I had about 6 inch of concrete, so it's done right.
Well, that's good.
And then we put the
You
mud
can always
bucket up.
weld some RHSs off of it on the concrete.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean? Like,
that's a
put
good idea.
some runners like along it so that it can't.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I've
Mine's
done on
got
it
the-
before, and bolt them down, and then you can actually then use them as like little, like you can weld hooks onto those runners and use them to pull dents out and crap as well.
Mine's got the bars that go up, and then it's got the cross bar that goes across where the cables go across instead of underneath. So well, I was glad to get that. I've got a bunch of stuff. I got to put a right lower control arm on that Blues Brother car we built. It just about broke plumb off, and so that's going to be easy. That's going to make it a lot easier putting that kind of stuff on.
Did
We
you
played on the ground, man, for years and pushed transmissions up, and all that. How that goes, I'm sure you've worked on the ground too.
I still am.
Yeah.
I bought a lift, and then it was a 3-phase one, and I don't have 3-phase. I was gonna rent a shed around the corner, and then anyway, it all went pear shaped, so I sold it, and then I haven't gone and bought a new one, another one. So.
Oh, excited. We hadn't really used it yet, but we're fixing to. I'm telling you.
Did you find you a control arm? Did you ever find you one?
Yep. I got one. That buddy, him come on. I'll get him to come on next week or two. But anyway, the guy that does Buford T Justice, Justin Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
He sent me a guy. Let's see here.
It's Sean Bailey, ain't it?
I mean Sean Bailey. I'm sorry. I get him Justice. I want to call him Justice Bailey. I don't know why. Camp Auto Salvage in Ohio.
Was it in pretty good shape, the one they sent you?
Yeah, it's on the box. He charged it's $75 delivered to my door. I thought that was fair enough because I wouldn't want to crawl underneath one in the junkyard and take it off for it.
Mm. I'm fixing to probably have two off of that satellite because see, I'm putting QA1 control arms on it. I don't know if they're the same on that C body as what they are the B body.
Now you're saying the QR what?
QA1.
Yeah, what is that?
The lower the suspension.
Oh, the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They used to sponsor me.
I had bought a set of lower control arms when I was doing that Duster, and they was the wrong ones. But by the time I had bought them and had them for so many days,
right,
and by the time I found out they was wrong, I couldn't send them back, so I had to buy another set. So I've got them brand new in the box. I'm going to go ahead and use them on that car when I put that when I start doing that engine next week.
Yeah.
Did you see the little video where I got it? I finally got it.
Yeah, you got her all back now.
Yeah. I didn't mess with it none this weekend. Hopefully after Thanksgiving, I've got a couple of customer cars I need to get out of the way. Because, once I take that thing apart, it's going to take a few days to do it because I got to get that motor out. I'm going to clean the engine bay and sand it and repaint the engine bay. And then I'm doing a disc brake conversion on it.
I thought that thing had disc brakes.
No, it's a drum brake car.
Yeah. I got to do that.
It was actually a 318 3-speed on the column is what the way that car came factory. But the one fella that had it for a lot of years, he converted it, put a 4-speed in it. And he done an excellent job. I mean, it's unreal how good a job that he did on it. But he never did pull the column out of it, which I'm not going to. I'm going to leave that 3-speed on the column. But whenever I was looking at the car in Ohio, that guy was saying it was a 4-speed factory 4-speed, and I looked in there. I said, "Well, it's got a 3-speed column in it because it's got the 2 levers." It would have been fun as a 3-speed. I love driving old 3-speeds on the column.
Not me, man. I cross them things up. Them old 50-mile cars, man. They cross, and you have to get up on there and uncross them.
Yeah,
on the hood.
All the ones that I've done, I mean, it don't take much to keep them, just a couple of bushings. If you keep your bushings and stuff intact, then you can speed this shift them things and never have no trouble.
Yeah.
But, I have hung them up, the old ones, some of the old Chevrolets. And, it's like you say, you got to get somebody to hold the brake while you crawl under it because it's going to end up in neutral. And
I'm ready to go. Y'all fool with 3-speeds down there in Australia much? Are they? I'll tell you, as far as a 4-speed or whatever go, I like the side load. I don't like a top loader 4-speed. If I'm on shift one, I don't like the top loader. I don't think you can shift as fast as you can.
No, them side loaders, they was always faster. Of course, the new $10,000 transmissions that they've got with 17 gears, they're a top loader style, and you can speed shift them okay.
Well, I've never been in one. I can't afford that kind of stuff.
Well, but like the tolerances, we did Corvette. I think it was a 69 or 70 Corvette back in the summer. This guy come in with one of them kits and converted it from the 4-speed over to a 5-speed. And they were so the instructions, they wanted literally pictures and video of you doing the measurements on the run out through the pilot bearing and stuff,
right,
and through the clutch to make sure that it didn't have too much run out, or else they'd void the warranty. Because I reckon there's needle bearings and stuff in there, and if that thing's got the wrong tolerance of run out in it, that it'll ruin them needle bearings and then destroy the transmission.
Hey, John, can you hear us now?
I can kind of hear you. I can hear you clear. Sean's cutting in and out like a robot, but
yeah, that's the way y'all are doing too.
He's not stinky like we are.
I guess
now I don't see Steve Copperhead's back on.
Steven left now.
Yeah, now I can hear you fine. It's his internet, his Wi-Fi server lost internet. We had to reboot the internet.
Okay, I got you now. Yeah,
nothing like rebooting.
Yeah, we talking about building model cars. We'd rather build big ones, but the only thing about it, it's getting to where, good God, I paid last week. I give $100 for 20 gallon of diesel fuel. Man, I am not kidding you. How much is fuel down there in Australia right now?
Diesel's $2.30, $2.40 a litre.
So, okay, now we got to figure out this.
So times that by 4, basically. So it's about I don't know. It's about $9.20 a gallon.
Good gosh, man.
Okay.
Yeah. And then unleaded is like $1.80, I think. $1.80, $1.90 a litre. So that's $7.60 a gallon.
Yeah,
you guys are rigid.
Does y'all's leaders in down there in Australia blame Putin like our president does? It's all Putin's fault.
Yeah, it's everything's because of the war in Russia.
Yeah.
And everything's there. That's the problem with everything.
Here, whenever I start hearing this, I'm like, when did they start giving fuel prices, the controlling of fuel prices to the Russians? When did that happen? And was we asleep at the wheel that day?
Yeah, our fruit and veg has gone up. That's because of the war in Ukraine.
But now, you know how it is. It's just like coffee. When they want to raise the price up on coffee, it'll be, some worm didn't produce something right, and then the coffee prices are higher this year or something, But they aren't, nobody's honest. You know what? We can get this much out of y'all, so this is what we're going to charge you.
Here's the thing. They're saying 45% more increase next year. This coming year is going to be 45% increased on everything, pretty much on the
prices overall.
Overall, 45%.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Everything's gone through the roof already, but it's going to go up more, they reckon.
The one thing that I've been thinking about with my business, of course, Stephen, you've got your business, but the liabilities and stuff is going to go up because the prices for any kind of damages that could be happening, the prices just went up, so your premiums are going to go up.
Well, I don't know, boy. I don't know where it's going to end. I can't keep going. I mean, I got these trucks hauling garbage, and it's. I mean, you figure 20 gallons for $100. I mean, $100
for a
gallon of fuel that eats up. I could not imagine $9. I mean, it's got to quit somewhere. But like I said, that's why we're talking about model cars. Maybe we can afford to put them together. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's still pricey, but I don't have to put gas in them.
Yeah,
exactly.
So tell me something. When you go to these, I mean, I watched the thing when you said you was going to come on. I went on YouTube and started watching a bunch of these different deals with these model cars.
Yeah, what you want to do on YouTube is you have AMT, MPC, Johan, Aerofix, Revell, Monogram. Did I say MPC?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, you just punch in like AMT and it'll bring up the whole story of how AMT came about.
But I just wonder, some of
like
they've got these contests all over the place. What do you like when you won that contest for the state or the whole overall deal? I mean, do you get a trophy and a big pile of money, or what do they give you?
Oh, wow. No, they gave us a little plaque, but you know what? It's just winning first place out of a dozen cars that were immaculate that I didn't even think I was going to win against was a boost, Other than that, now different model shows, they'll do stuff like that. They'll have cash prizes too and bigger trophies here and there. But just like my hot rod, I've won so many trophies.
Yeah, right.
And I've given them all to John and another buddy so they can rework them and give them out at.
Yeah, we reuse the old trophies and turn them into new trophies for local car shows.
I always get a trophy
more
with my
I
car.
get more satisfaction the people's reactions to the car, to my hot rod.
I think
the trophy.
It's like y'all was talking about the vans. Now the van shows, of course, I'm not like it, but a lot of the diehard vanners, if they put their van in the show and they don't win a trophy, boy, they piled up. They really get uptight about not winning a trophy with their van, but I've never been like that. The van is the trophy to me.
Right. I always get a trophy every time I show up just because my car actually made it to the show. They're like, "Oh, he's made it. You made it."
Well, I had, and I went to a lot of shows in the 90s and in early 2000s, and I won a lot of contests. And I had those trophies sitting in that room for 30 years after the fact, 25 years. And you ask the kids, do you want some of those trophies? And no, what are we going to do with them?
Same thing you do. Put it on a shelf.
So, it is what it is. I don't even like to go to a real car show and I'll give them the $20, but I don't even enter because I really, give somebody else a chance to win a trophy. And,
Now, if trophies was like, if the like a car show trophy, if they gave out a brand new, 650 or 750 Holly as the trophy, then that'd be something to get mad about, that you didn't. Dang, I wanted to win that. I needed that. They ought to be giving stuff out that you need for your car.
I had the guy on last week on the radio show that actually, you get country music down there at Copperhead. It's called 5 O'Clock Somewhere by Alan Jackson. Remember that song? It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere. Him and
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, with who was it that was singing that with him?
I'll get
sang Margaritaville. Jimmy Buffett. It's him and Jimmy Buffett sang that song. But anyway, the songwriter actually wrote that song. I had him on the radio last week talking to him. He got a Grammy. I mean, that's a big deal. That thing was at #1 for 8 weeks solid. He's got a Grammy for that song. And I said, "Where's your Grammy at?" And he said, "Oh, it's in the closet." He just got in the closet, man. I'll be carrying that thing around, I guess, something. But I guess you think about it.
I got a funny story about Jimmy Buffett thing. Whenever I was a boy, about probably around, I was probably 7 or 8 years old. This guy my mother was friends with, he was out trying to cut something with his knife and it was dull. He was over at our house and I seen that it wouldn't cut. And I told him, I said, "Mister, I can sharpen that knife for you." And it was a case.
Right.
And so you can. And anyway, so he let me see the knife. I said, "I can take it and sharpen it for you." So he let me have the knife. And So I took it, and I'd seen my grandpa sharpen. This is before I learned how to sharpen knives, but by watching him, I thought I knew how to sharpen a knife. So anyway, I had a grinder, a bench grinder. So I went down there. I got that. I mean, you were seeing this pristine case knife, and I was in there grinding it on the bench grinder, sharpening it, and then brought it back. That guy, oh, what the heck, Then he went in the store. He said, "You could just have that knife now. I stole that knife from Jimmy Buffett anyway."
Yeah, okay.
And I don't know if he had or not, but he let on like it was Jimmy Buffett's case knife.
Hey, I gotta go today. Sorry, I got someone who just rocked up who's buying a car off me. So
Okay, we'll go get some money, brother. You need
Yeah.
to buy $9 a gallon gas.
I do. Sorry about that. I'll see you next week, eh?
You take it easy.
See
See
ya.
ya.
Nice meeting you.
Oh, does that help you any? You coming in any better now down there at Copperhead? I mean, Copperhead's gone Easter. John?
Actually, once he got off, he was all pixelated real bad for us. Like it was
No.
all. Yeah, I don't know. Like you guys are moving slow. It must be our connection here.
I think it is because me and Steven's moving fine, but y'all are still real glitchy. It won't even show you
Okay.
talking.
Okay.
Where
So it
y'all
must
at?
be.
You and Murphy, or where y'all at?
We're in Murphy. We're over by Wells Lake in Murphy, off of 129.
Well, y'all should have good service. Y'all got high speed internet
But
over
it's-
there.
Well, it's Frontier, so you know what Frontier is.
Oh, there's your problem right there. I know what it is. It's Frontier. Yep.
Yeah.
Come on, I pay like $79 a month. It's got to be good, right?
Yeah, that's what you'd think. Sheesh. So how do they
Yeah.
y'all have like competitions all the way through the winter time, or y'all shut down like all the car shows do?
Model competitions. They all year round.
We don't. They have them throughout the country. I mean, nothing in this area. Atlanta just had one. They usually have one annually in Atlanta, but
Oh, really?
nothing here.
Wow.
Yeah, there's not enough people that build them around here to have anything.
I remember being up at the Syracuse Nationals, and I had to, I was taking pictures of all the cars and everything. They had a huge model car display there and a big model car contest. So I was walking up and taking pictures of the model cars and, just getting nice and close. And some of them were so realistic that if I could get the camera angle right, you wouldn't know if it was a real car or a fake car, So I would get in nice and close and take the pictures. And I go over to take a picture, and these guys were judging them. And the guys were like, "Get out of the way! We're judging here. You can't know it." And they were like worse than the car guys. I was taking pictures of $1 million hot rods, and nobody yells at me for it. I get invited behind the ropes. I go up to look at a piece of plastic, and you're yelling at me.
Yeah.
So it was they stuff. They're like, "All right, back off. We're trying to judge." I was like, "I was."
That's funny though,
I've been to show these kits when you build them, you take it. You got a piece of you into them. They're and the detail on some of these, and they're so fragile.
Oh yeah.
And you got people that think that model cars are die cast, and they'll walk right up. They'll go to a show for the first time or whatever. They'll walk right up to this plastic fragile model kit and pick it up and start looking at it like it's a metal die cast.
Yeah.
And the owner is like, "Oh my God." You don't want to yell at them because they'll drop it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, they are very touchy. It's kind of one of those things, building models. You just need to know in your mind that you don't touch somebody's stuff.
I guess that's like the car stuff. You go to a car show and you don't ever touch somebody's car, but people that aren't into cars up and think they can open doors and sit in them.
But now
Oh,
here's something completely different. My boys have got me into airplanes because they're both pilots right now, and they're flying to friendly skies, and I'm all about airplanes too. You go to an air show, they're like, get in it, try it out, rub on. They could care less. I mean, they have got some crazy serious planes. They're like, get in it. If you don't get it, sit in it, no problem whatsoever. But you go to a car show and they're like, don't touch it.
Yeah. Don't even
Yeah.
walk by it with that keychain on your belt loop.
Yeah. That's wild the way different
We
stuff
just
is.
saw that. It just ran right up to a 57 Chevy and jumped up on the
Oh
door.
yeah. Ran up and jumped on my buddy's 55 Chevy, hung on the door to look inside it. Almost put his feet on the door to get better traction to look in. It was like, oh.
I couldn't do that.
It was a little kid.
Yeah, just some little kid. The guy and the dad was there with him, just walking around. Then the kid runs over and does it to another car, and the dad just keeps on walking through. And
Yeah.
I
That's
thought,
that's just some bad parenting right there, ain't
Yeah,
it?
that's
I
when
mean,
you need to
it's-
punch the dad, not the kid.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
kids only know what you know. They don't.
John, you talking
If I
about?
would have done, my dad would pull my pants down and whoop me right there.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, we knew better. Yeah, we knew better. John, you talking about, I've been going to this autocross. I reckon I talked to Jerry the other day, and they're having once a month down at Road Atlanta. They're having not Road Atlanta, but across. What's the one, the racetrack they've shut down? What is that?
Commerce.
No,
No.
down at Road Atlanta, across the street from Road Atlanta. What is that called?
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah, you do.
They call it near Lanier Motor.
Yeah,
Complex.
Lanier Raceway. It used to be Lanier Raceway, but anyway, it's right across the street from.
Okay.
It's
Once
the
a
old
month,
oval track they had there at Lanier.
yeah. Once a month, they're having the
Okay.
autocross there. They're going to start having autocross every month. They're going with the
They
weather
have
permitting.
drifting there too, don't they?
They got a lot of stuff they're doing, but
Oh.
I don't like. I think drifting's a rip, man. I don't care for drifting. I just think that's a good way.
Well, you got to have some talent and some horsepower to do drifting.
there ain't
you know-
nothing to it, man. I'm
Yeah.
drifting about anything.
Not on the asphalt, you can't.
Bull on it. Just throw that thing in there sideways and lay the
You
metal
don't
to it.
see nobody driving a Pinto or a Volkswagen Beetle air cooled out there drifting now, do you?
I bet you I can take a Pinto and outrun them while they're drifting if they let me drive it around.
I
the
don't
track.
know, but them professional drift cars, they're sideways at probably a 90 mile an hour. Some of them
I
guys
don't
are.
care. I still outrun them. You ain't no way you can go. You can't go. You can go straight a whole lot
I was
faster than you can
drifting back.
sideways. Unless you're in dirt. If you're in dirt, that's different.
I was drifting in the late 70s in the snow until I took out a couple mailboxes.
There you go. Anyway, you ought to take that vet
Some
down.
of
Man.
those people. That feet of snow.
We just lost him again.
We lost connection.
That Frontier is terrible. I'm gonna start
Yeah.
going down there. That autocross. Have you have anything that you could run through that? I mean, that is so much fun.
But if I set that Duster back down, I've got that whole suspension set up for that autocross. First, I put some big money in that suspension in that Duster. But
Yeah.
then I got tired. I didn't like it setting all level and everything. I wanted it to look like 70, so I put air shocks on it and jacked the back end up. But it's got it's got that whole QA1 front suspension, and then I went with Hodgkin springs in the back.
Right.
But but now it's manual steering, so man would need power steering to keep up with it on that. That's the only thing. If I'd have switched it over to power steering, it'd have been a little bit easier to drive on
Yeah, I
that.
like power. John, you ought to take your Corvette down, man. Next time they have it, you got that vet. I know you got that. Can you hear me?
Armstrong.
John. Earth to John.
No, I hear you breaking up.
I say you need to take that vet and let's go down there to that next autocross they have down at Lanier.
That'd be cool. Liberty's really wanting to do that stuff. It's another event that's coming up is Paradise Dragway's doing their Christmas thing on December 3rd. So it's a car show, swap meet, and drag races. And
Right.
so I should have my little shop truck back together. I don't know if it'll be back together enough to drive down there that day, but I'm hoping this week I can get it all thrown back together and get it back on the road again. But I might see if Liberty wants to take her vet down there. Maybe she can drag race it there that day. It's only $25 to race.
Well, I'll send you I'll send you a link to that thing down. I think it's $40 or $45 to run down there. I think you get 6 or 12 runs
Wow.
through the autocross, and I love it.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
I love it, and I'm gonna stay around here close so I can figure it out because I've got I don't know what kind of tires Sean got me up there, but they're the cheapest 16-inch tires I can put on it. But I got to figure out my air pressure on that. But I'm just gonna run that vet. I don't care. I put the top up to keep from flexing and put my
There you
helmet
go.
on. I'd love to have a race.
Liberty for Liberty's birthday, she got Nitto 555, so they should grip pretty good for that kind of stuff. They're good street tread, but they're still soft enough where they should be good on an autocross.
Yeah. I got in trouble when I was down there because I did drift a little bit through the curves because back growing up, that's the way we did it. And then I hold on to the side of the car to hold on, like you can't put your hand out the window, which kind of screwed me up because I ain't got a racing seat. So I'm flopping all over in there, and so, but I'd love to have a racing seat in that thing. I'm gonna buy one somewhere. I've been looking all over the marketplace. I think they're changing marketplace. Are y'all getting that where it says when you look at a car you're interested in, and then when you go back out, it says show more of these?
The marketplace is all screwy. Their
But
search engine is all messed up.
But mine now, if I go into something I look at, if I'm looking like at a whatever I'm looking at, then when I come back out of it to start searching more, it'll have a little thing pop up, show more or show less. And I always put show more, whatever it is I want to do. Are y'all's doing that?
No.
Yeah, mine's doing that.
Yeah, mine's doing that.
I'm hoping.
Big thing about it is you better hit save on it if you see something you like. That way you can go back to it.
Oh yes.
Trying to find it.
Yeah.
Hey, they had a Jeepster last week. I think it was over. I don't remember where it was at, but $1,500 for one of them Jeepster van wagons. You know what I'm talking about? And it's $1,500. And I said, man, I ought to go get that. And I just saved it, and it wasn't 2 hours later. It had sold on it. You know, it didn't take long, but it's a good looking old Jeepster truck.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a big Jeepster.
I'm looking for wheels. I want to put a set of wheels on the T-Bird, and I want to find all the wheels that I like the style of are Chevy pattern, and all the wheels that are Ford pattern I don't like the style of.
Yeah, I'll tell you, these new wheels, I don't like none of them. I like the old style stuff. I really don't.
Well, the Unilux Prager.
Right.
Somebody just had listed right before I come on. I seen somebody had a set of 15x7 radar wheels that had been new. They're new old stock from, the Mickey Thompson radar wheels. Are they was wanting like $1,000 for that set of wheels. It's perfect. I mean, mint condition. The center caps, little red center with Mickey Thompsons, and the wheels was perfect. I mean, and the $1,000 really, that wasn't too bad of a price on them wheels. I didn't think.
That's not for those. It's it's some of the wheels that I see. Some of the people are asking. They got old, half worn tires and everything, and you can buy a set of wheels and tires new for almost what they're asking for the used stuff.
Oh yeah,
that's the truth. Well, who cares the old style wheels now? I mean, can you still get them? I mean,
there's one.
Yeah, there's still a couple.
There's one
you
place
can buy
like
Raider wheels too.
Yeah.
The Raider wheels out in they're out of New Jersey. Rick Conklin runs Raider wheel now, and he hasn't made. I think they're still made in California, unless they're shipping them overseas now. But he does the Raiders. The old torque thruster is still available. The original style torque thruster is still available and polished in a 15x7. They're only $171 a piece. There's another guy that's got an unpolished set. I think in Blairsville on Marketplace. They're all USA made ones, and they're still new in the box. And he thinks he can get $3,500 for the set.
Wow!
And it's when you get them $171 polished, brand new, I know one's going to pay $3,500 for the set.
No,
not unless it comes with our voltage.
That American Racing TTO, of course, the torque thrust original, and I've got a set of them on that 300. The only thing I wish that they done on them, the ones that they're making, of course, they're Chinese, but they've got the bolt on center instead of the pop in center cap, because the original torque thrust, the torque thrust T70s was had that little pop in center, and the originals they only made 18 months, 69 through 70, but now they're bad to crack. I've got a set of 14, I think they're 14x8s, and that I was going to run on that Duster, but when luckily I got one of them mounted up and had it put on the car, fixing to bolt it down, and I got to looking real close, and the center where it bolted in was cracked.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'd have drove on that with that wheel, would have and that's why they quit making them. Then they come out with that T70R where they reinforced, and that's why they call it, it's got a different type lip around it, and where them wheels would crack and everything. But now people pay like if you've got a set of 15x7s or 15x8s of the original torque thrust from the 69 and 70, them wheels will bring crazy amount of money if they're in real good shape.
I don't know.
It's like magnesium 10-spoke spindle mount wheels that the old dragsters used to run on the the Altereds and some of the brakeless dragsters. They would run a spindle mount most of those were 16 to 18-inch rims with a 10 or 12 spoke wheel. If you could find those in magnesium, they're $2,000 to $3,000 for a pair of them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know. You know, back growing up, everything I had slot mags. That's what we used. Everything was slotted
I
mags.
love slot. I love slot mags.
That's the
Yeah,
thing
they're
about that.
good polish. Man, they're easy to keep clean and they look good.
I got that little dart, you know, with that slick cylinder. It's got that baby lug. I call it the baby lug pattern. And I'd like to update the front end on that thing, but I want to, you know, as far as brakes, I want disc brakes, but I want to put them slotted mags on. I want to keep that baby lug pattern. Sure. Do they make them, Sean? They make a disc brake kit for that with the baby
Oh
lug?
yeah, you could get what they call the Kelsey Hayes, but it's more money than the other disc brake conversion kit.
How much does that generally run?
You'll probably spend $1,200 for what that Kelsey Hayes set up.
What does that
With
give
that
me?
small pattern. And that's what's on the front of that 70 Duster that I built. See, it was a factory. It's factory Kelsey Hayes disc brake system on it.
How much? What do you get with that kit?
You'll get the calipers and the rotors and the brake hoses and some bearings and stuff like that.
God, that just seems high. $1,200
Yeah,
bucks.
and see that for that where that Kelsey Hayes is 4-piston calipers. You know, that was factory on them cars. I think that started like on your you've got a 68, don't you?
I got a 67 and a 68.
I think that they started them in 68 or 67. But they always called them Kelsey Hayes disc brakes.
Well,
But they
everything
was
I
on
had was drum.
Right, but now they did as far as I'm not sure when in 60, what part of the 60s, you know, 7, 68 or 69, but they did have them disc brakes on some of them cars in factory.
And I thought 67 had one piston, one brake line brakes, and they went to the two for the front and rear in the 68. Am I wrong about that?
You might be right on
67.
that.
Do what, John?
67. I mean, Ford did it in 67, so I don't know. I imagine Mopar did it. It's probably mandatory 67 and up.
Okay.
Yeah, there was some stuff that the government the government mandated was some good stuff, you know, like that single pop master cylinder. That is a dangerous thing because you know you lose one brake line and you don't have no brakes, nothing.
I don't use them much anyway.
Yeah. But like you say, we learned how to drive with no brakes, so you know.
I'd like to do that though. I just think $1,200, man. Gosh, that's a lot.
Well, at this day and time, it's, you know, if you can scrounge around and, you know, but now like that, the disc brakes that I'm putting on that satellite,
Mm-hmm.
see, they're actually the spindles off of that one Duster that I've got up there.
Yeah, I
That
keep looking.
76. And see them, that spindle and brakes, that's the same thing as what all them B bodies had too.
Mhm.
You just take that spindle off, but of course I'm going to put that in the new lower control arms that I've already got, and then I'm putting new ball joints and everything whenever I tear it all apart.
Now, didn't Dodge have that? Darts have a smaller pattern than a standard?
Yeah, they got the baby lug pattern, they call it.
It was only on the A body cars,
Yeah.
whether it be
really do.
Dodge or Plymouth, you know. Of course,
72,
now,
I think, or 73, they quit making them. Went to the regular size.
it was
I think
73, I think.
Okay, so my 71 Demon was still a small pattern then.
Yeah, 71 Demon was still a small pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, not
See,
all of them were. Some of them depend on what they come with. You know, that's something else. You know, some of them had a bigger lug pattern there.
But now that Demon, was it a 1 year only?
Yeah, you know, they had
The
a lot of
Demon was
people
71.
70 and 71, or was it 71 and only? I can't remember.
1 and 2. 71, 72 was a Demon.
Yeah, they had a lot of problems with the name
73.
on that.
Dart Sport.
Buy that model kit actually for probably $150
Really?
on eBay.
Really?
Yeah, it's
For a
even
Demon?
expensive on.
Yeah.
For a Dodge Demon model.
I built a Dodge. I can remember this. I built a Dodge Demon model that was a police car. Does hit that ring any bells with him whatsoever? It was a police car.
Really?
It was a
That
black,
would have been
and
something.
Yeah.
black and white Dodge
There-
Demon police car.
There's the Duster version.
Yeah. That's a
Duster police car.
That's the same thing, except this was a Demon. I remember being a Demon. That's it.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Did they
probably-
actually make real A-body police cars? Do you know of, Stephen?
Not that I know of. Now, I don't know that I know of. I have no idea. But that's the thing about them A bodies. Chrysler got to where they crossed over like the Demon. All that was just a Dodge Dart front end on a Duster, and then they got the pretty little tail lights. There's a 71 Duster.
Yeah.
That's got the pretty grill in it, man. I like a 70. I like the tail lights. 72. 70, is it 71's got the long tail lights and 72?
Yeah, the 70's got the better tail lights.
Yeah.
And 71,
Yeah.
they went down to that one narrower.
Yeah.
Now I put the shark
Yeah.
tooth 71 grill in my 70.
Right. So you can build 3 kits with that, right?
You do all three kits with that one?
What's
Three
that?
different
You do
ways.
3 kits out of that one?
Well, years ago, through the 70s, the model kits, a lot of them were 3-in-1 kits where you could build them stock, custom, or drag. And but all the reissues of some of this stuff, you can either build it one way, you can build it custom or stock.
That way they
or
can sell you
can-
3 different models now instead of
Yeah,
just giving all the
That's
extra
how
parts.
they do it, yeah. And a lot of the old kits that had the 3-in-1, where they had all those option parts,
Mhm.
they messed the molds up so bad
Oh, like the can issue.
that they can't reissue the kit with all those options.
I see.
It's not all of them, but just a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're cool, man. I remember, like I said, when I was a kid, it's just like going in the cereal aisle. It's just lines of model cars, just lines.
Yeah.
And you can figure out which one you want.
Yeah, man. A couple
that's-
months ago, I saw some down at Walmart, and I went back to look for them, and I found a couple kits left over in the discount section, and there was no glue or anything. So every once in a while they'll get them.
Yeah. There's a 3-in-1 kit AMT, and it shows the stock,
Yeah.
custom, and drag. Yeah.
I used
that
to always
was-
use the drag and the cut together, mix those pieces.
The 60 was the 62 Corvette. Was that still off of that 50 something chassis?
Yeah, it was. They used a 49 to 54 Chevy front suspension, right up from 53 right up to 62. You can unbolt it. It was just 8 bolts on it, dropped the whole suspension out. And 63 is when they went. 62 is kind of like an in between year. The quarters kind of look like a mid year, but they still had the coves, but no chrome on them. And that was the transition year. 63 and up. Then 63, they used the same basic chassis all the way up to 82. It was they in the 73 they added a couple extra body mounts, and late 70s they added some aluminum pieces, but they're virtually the same. Same wheelbase, same chassis, more or less.
Yeah.
What-
I think this like a 62. I think I wouldn't. I'd like to have one of them older first gen chassis because I built a 74, and and it was a fun car. But the one thing about restoring a Corvette is you really have a narrow market to sell to.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Corvette people out there. I know.
Yeah, they are, but there's a lot all at the same time.
Even in the model kit world, they're not that sought after. People just, there's a couple older kits out there that are neat that people still pay good money, but for the most part, like a lot of NASCAR kits from the 90s,
It's just not worth it.
they're just not worth $5.
Right.
But
Yeah,
will
well,
they?
that's real
They will
specific.
be though. I mean, honestly, it seems like everything goes into circles, and it's like Corvettes. That and Corvettes and luxury cars depreciate quicker than any car out there, I think. And then after they get so old, then they start coming back. They come back strong. Not so much the luxury
You
cars.
also hit that. You're seeing C4s do that now. They're starting to rebound.
Yeah.
The C4s are starting to catch on. Samples are starting to bring good money, and that's I always call it percolating, because you'll start to see like they're all cheap, and then all of a sudden you start to see a few of them start to get more expensive, and the next thing you know they're
Well, and that's like
out of our price range again.
that's like the early Broncos. They came out with the new Bronco, and of course,
And also those
that
things are
jumped up the
Yeah.
price of the older Broncos.
Now the old Broncos have
Just-
been strong all the way. I mean, they've been pretty strong. I know a couple of guys that restores them.
Have you still got your Bronco, Stephen, that the Georgia Bulldogs had? Or
I actually sold that to my doctor. and they restored that
Oh, really?
thing and then sold it. And I mean, he got crazy money out of it. But that
I
thing,
think them all of them now, any kind of condition, just about now, if it's running, driving, and they're bumping 100,000, ain't they?
this thing come from actually Georgia, and it was used in the football program, and that's what they used the thing. And I think it had 20,000 miles on it, something like that. It just said,
I can't believe you didn't do that because they're fairly easy to restore. If you had it right now, you probably wouldn't sell it until it was done where you get cash out.
Keith, he's my doctor, and he keeps me alive. So I thought I didn't want to make him mad. He might give me the wrong prescription or something, and then buy it from my wife.
Give him a good deal.
Yeah, so I can take him out and get it from his wife for nothing. But
yeah,
God, you can't fix them all. But it was a 3-speed 302 power steering, but that's about all it had. But and they'd hit something on the left front and bump of the fender up on it. But no, they did a good job.
Said that weird thing is if you had an 8 with the power brakes, you had to kick the booster funny.
Yeah, it was sideways. It was sideways. Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sideways. I'll tell you a car that I'd love to have. I don't know if y'all remember the 63 Le Mans or Tempest. You remember the 1963 Le Mans? I call it Le Mans or Tempest, that was
Yeah, my buddy's got one, a real nice one. He's actually looking to sell it.
How much?
It's I think he was at 13 grand. It's a one owner car. Well, it's a 2-owner car. He's a second owner. And I think it's one repaint, but it's all original. It's got that half of 389 in it.
Right.
Now, do they have a Corvette rear end in them?
Well, no, it's a torque tube.
They were they were like more in lines of what would have been in a Corvair.
Yeah.
They had a rear mounted power glide with independent suspension, and they were notorious for their rope drive shaft. I talked to Arnie the Farmer Beswick. He had one called the Grocery Getter, and I was talking to him about it. They put a 421 in it, and he said every 6 runs he'd rebuild the transmission because it would only last 7 to 9. He said, but he never had a problem with that rope drive shaft.
What about that?
I love that 63. I mean, the Tempest car, that 63 to me is that Le Mans 63. That's just a beautiful little car, man.
So the power glide wouldn't last. The power glide wouldn't last in it.
Is it not against the 421 with dual quads and stuff? It was 421, and then he'd run that through the rope drive shaft back to the power glide. He said every 6 runs he'd rebuild because it would only last 7 to 9.
Wow.
He said just there was something slightly different about him.
Close.
There's a 62. That's a Catalina. That's a full size.
That's Catalina, yeah.
But yeah, he said the rope drive shaft never gave him trouble, but the transmission just wouldn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
But he said it hooked good because a transaxle sitting right over the rear end, so it planted the tires good.
It just
and the one that ran was a station.
I guess it would pull the car down when it launched, wouldn't it?
Well, the weight, you had that weight.
Yeah, probably that too. They squat and dig.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's, cool. They were kind of made famous in the late 80s, early 90s with the My Cousin Vinny.
Well, the big thing about it is, I ain't really never even seen that many. They must not have been a real popular selling car because I've never really seen that many out there.
Yeah, they did them 61, 2, and 3, if I remember right. It might have only been 62 and 3.
No, it's 61.
And then 64, they went to 64, they went to the A-body platform.
Yeah, 61, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I think so. And then 64 went like a Chevelle type chassis where it was conventional Salisbury rear end and, mid transmission and front engine.
That My Cousin Vinny, that's one of my favorite movies. What a lot of people don't realize is that movie was filmed in Georgia. It wasn't even really in Alabama.
No.
That courthouse and all that stuff's in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Calhoun? Calhoun? Is that where they did it? Calhoun, I think.
I can't remember if it was but I know it's down there. It's in Georgia.
Man, there's a lot of movies being shot. I got a gal coming on tomorrow. She's in Florida. She's in Panama City Beach, Florida. But she's the commissioner over the film industry in Florida. And she's wanting to come on and do an interview trying to get some of these film guys from here to go to Florida to do some stuff because it's just right there. So,
yeah.
I thought that, but she's talking about how
well, I think that the Georgia government's gave them some big tax incentives to come here, trying to bring jobs and stuff, because it's not only actors, but, there's film crews, that people there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people that gets paid, it's not just the movie stars that's getting money out of them movies, you know, when they make them.
Well, we got involved in that one up here. Of course, I've had a couple of more I got into, but there's a lot going on with that. Of course, we made pretty good money renting our cars out.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get nothing on that one. You got on different films. You got some film, but now the one that I helped with that, the Devil to Pay or whatever, that was the shoestring budget where they didn't really have no money.
Well, yeah, the money that I made, I had to replace the tires on that one car because they cut the tire down on it, but it's still a lot of fun. Then but they've got some more. They called me the other day looking for, they needed an ambulance, and I didn't know anybody had an ambulance. I said, I've got an old one I can fix up, but I ain't got no new one.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
What year was they a needing?
A new one, fairly new one.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but anyway. Copperhead. I keep wanting to holler at him. He's not even here. John, did you say you knew somebody that was in the film industry that could hook me up to rent some of these cars out?
Yeah, I can reach out to my buddy. He's he buys and specializes in the emergency vehicles like fire trucks, ambulance, police cars, Humvees.
So yeah, I was kind of know because they called me like 2 weeks ago looking for one. They were looking for an ambulance.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, it's I'll reach out to him. I know he can be kind of a bit of a hermit, but he's a big time car guy. He's got some pretty cool stuff too. He'd be I don't know if he'd want to. I was going to interview him from a magazine, and he didn't want to deal with it at all. So I don't know if we could get him on YouTube. But
I'd like to talk to him about hooking up because I've got these cars, and it's either store them up or rent them out, and it's just right now everybody that's doing films is kind of in the 80s. 70s and 80s. That's where they're at.
Yeah.
And I've got the
late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah. And I've got this plain Jane car is what they're looking like. That's the thing about when I do watch these movies, it's bad, but I look at the cars they got in the movies, and I look and I say, oh, wait a minute. Now that's got a brand new set of wheels that wasn't made till 2 years ago or something, and it's like, it just bums me out,
Yeah.
I like to see.
Well, my stuff, so I could really have one period correct right down to the tires. Right. On some of my stuff. But, if they was doing a high school setting for the 70s, right. I've got the cars for that. But now I wouldn't let just any knucklehead drive one of mine especially with them 50-year-old tires.
Well, a lot of times they just want them sitting there, just want them sitting there, so. But anyway. Well, we about burn our. Oh, he's gone again. We about burn our up. I guess we need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Somebody else do something. If I can get him back on. But I'd like to get hooked up where I can rent some of these cars out because it's a dang shame. They just sit here.
Well, like I've got all mine insured, but of course that ain't very expensive because I don't.
Well, I'm fixing to get dealer license. I'm just about ready. I'm about had it.
But you've got so much more than what I do. Of course I've got all 6 of mine is roadworthy. I can hop in them and go where I want to go.
Well, I've got a bunch of them that's roadworthy, but I can't keep insurance. That's why I want to get my dealer's license. John, do you have your dealer's license?
Why don't you insure? Do you have them insured through Hagerty?
How's the Corvair? The Corvair's fixing. I got a guy here. He's asking. He said, "How's the Corvair?" We fixing to put it. My wife's fixing to put the Corvair in the front yard with a Christmas tree and Christmas lights all over it. So that's where the Corvair is going to be for the next month and a half.
That's cool. So you're going to the car and I added my Thunderbird to my Hagerty policy,
right?
And I added a $500 deductible to the Willys, and it ended up costing me. It was like I think it was like $10 a year to add the Thunderbird.
Well, now ain't they getting kind of sticky now to where they want to? You have to have them inside and covered and all that stuff.
Yeah, they have to be garaged. If you're through that kind of insurance, you have to have a garage for them.
Yeah, the one I've got a couple. I got my vets are insured like that. They're garaged. I got a couple of them like that. But the SS Impala, I just got insurance on it, and he's gone again.
Yeah,
but I just got regular insurance on the SS Impala.
Yeah, but see that insurance that you've got, what you don't realize is you could insure 3 cars for what that one Impala's costing you. And it's, maybe 3 or 4 that you would have full coverage on.
But I can't keep them all in the shed. I ain't got enough sheds to keep them in, man.
All you got to do is just get one of them. over the tennis court down there, you've got that foundation. Just go ahead and get that pole barn roof. As long as you keep it under a roof, it's inside.
Yeah, that takes money, honey. John,
Well,
do you have your dealer's license? Back when I was a dealer, I had dealer's license. I think it was, I don't remember how much the insurance was a year for how much is garage liability? You got it up there, don't you, Sean?
I'm just throwing a number out there that I think it is. It's probably around 5,000 or 6,000 a year now.
Is that what it is for garage?
Yeah, but
$1 million?
that's $1 million policy where I'm working. I don't know the exact figures, but it's not too bad. But that classic car insurance, the amount of money that you be paying on that dealer's insurance, you could take and build one of them great big pole barns to house all the cars that you want to insure. And then, because
I get my dealer tag, I could insure anything I wanted to drive. I just throw the tag on, I'm done. I'm gone.
Yeah, but that's not the same as that classic insurance, because see, when you're like with Haggerty, they try to help you find the parts to fix that car.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna keep my insurance on them because it ain't much. I mean, what is it, $54 a year or something, But
Yeah, Haggerty's been awesome, man. They keep doing new innovative kind of stuff that you wouldn't expect in an insurance company to do, and they got the roadside assistance thing, and it's I like that it's agreed on value and your full coverage, and they take into account that you don't drive them every day, so they discount it that way,
Right.
Here's my theory. I might have told you all before. I think you ought to be, when you get your driver's license, I think you ought to buy liability insurance for your driver's license. And that way any car you drive is covered under liability. Period.
I agree.
Yeah.
They insure the driver's license.
Yep. So
Yes.
the driver's insured. So any car, if I borrow your car and wreck it, I got liability. Now, if you want full coverage, that costs more per car.
Yeah.
But if you just want liability.
Now, in North Carolina, for a kid to get their license, they have to be an insured driver.
Right.
But it's a catch-22 because you can't put a car on the road unless you have insurance. But you can't get your license unless you're an insured driver. So, it's this weird thing. I had to fill out this paperwork so Liberty could be added to our policy so she could go take her test to show that she was an insured person before they would give her a license.
Right.
And then, we just picked, her Corvette, and that's what her insurance goes to, and it worked that way. But I think you're right, man. It should be every driver should be insured, not the vehicle. It should be whatever you're driving should be covered.
The one thing I can't on Georgia's liability, if you go in there and just say that you've got an old, let's say a 1993 F-150, and you go get, I want liability insurance on this truck. If you don't bump up that policy, if you go out and hit like one of them new Jeep Grand Cherokees or something, and your liability is not going to come close to fixing that car if it's a total loss. I mean, the Georgia liability is still only $25,000. There's very few new cars that you can get for $25,000.
Right.
It's the cars that nobody wants.
Right.
That's when you go. That's when you drop down to that DS thing down at the bottom of that. Means don't stop after you hit them. Just don't stop.
Yeah, exactly. But
anyway, folks, we burned up about an hour. We're just gonna try to stay an hour and not get too long. But anyway, we about got there. But anyway, I hate Copperhead couldn't, but maybe he's made a lot of money when he sold that car. I know he's been.
I wonder if it was the rat, the car that the rats died in, or the snake, or whatever.
Yeah,
the one that he couldn't stand that stunk so bad.
Yeah, anyway. Maybe it happened.
I'm used to it now.
Man, I appreciate you coming on. Good to meet you. Now, I don't know. Now, John, you sent me a text, and I got 3 or 4 numbers in there. I don't know whose is who. Is this guy's one of the numbers that I've got?
He was one of them. Yeah.
Okay.
It was me, you, Bill, and Keith.
Okay.
And
So I've got.
1-5.
Yeah, I've got your number, so I figured it all out. But anyway,
I'll
Y'all-
probably get on my wife's computer next week Sunday and see what
Try it.
you're all doing.
There you go.
so
Yeah.
anyway. All right. Well, I'm going to get in here and get ready to roll out of here in the morning. I'm off. Are you off this week, John, with school?
I got 2 days to do, but I still got to go get all my planning done for those 2 days. So I got a lot to do tonight too.
Yeah. So
And it looks like it's going to be decent weather, so my garage won't be freezing. So hopefully I can get my little rat rod together in between classes and Turkey.
well, hopefully this week I'm gonna paint the Cadillac this week if everything works out right. So,
Cool.
but I'm going down tomorrow. I've got a guy remember I had that Corvette. Y'all had that Corvette Lister. Y'all actually showed it in a couple of your videos.
Yeah.
The guy that bought that, let me see here. He got up with Bill Martin. I'm gonna go down to his place tomorrow and do some filming down there. Bill Martin. He has got he bought that Corvette Lister, and but he's got some cool stuff. He's got what's the guy that the founder of Chick-fil-A? What is his name? You know I'm talking about Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Anyway, he got one of his cars. He knew him. He's got a Cord. He's got some cool stuff. So I'm gonna go down and check it all out tomorrow and see what's Bill Cat. Is it Bill? Not Bill Cathy. Something Cathy. That was
Yeah, I know who you're talking about though.
Yeah, but anyway, he's got a cool collection. So, and then hopefully I'm gonna go down to check out he's got the Lister now. But anyway, I'll holler at y'all next week. We'll be back. That work?
Y'all have a good
sounds
week.
good, man.
All right, man. Y'all take care.
See you. Bye.
See you guys.
Nice meeting you all.